If you've ever just sat at your job and wondered, is this all there is? Do you ever just sit there and think, what if I could just play music for my job? What if I could just live my dream, play the music that I love, instead of going to this 9-to-5 job that I hate? This video is for you. I'm gonna talk about how I quit my 9-to-5, how I quit my standard traditional job, and decided to go all in on my music. And this video isn't just about my story, it's about giving you permission that you can follow your dream. It's about giving you a roadmap. It's about inspiring you. It's about saying that you can do this too. So join me for a little bit here as I share some of the information that I've learned and hopefully inspire you to take action, to quit your job and go music full time. I am not a very famous rock star. I didn't get discovered by a talent scout. I didn't have a CD explode. I didn't have a viral video. All I did was made a decision. I was sick of doing a job that I hated and failing at it. And I decided to try doing something that I love, and it's working out pretty well. You may think that it is a huge, huge commitment, and you would certainly be right. It is a huge commitment, but you don't need to be a professional to make the jump and do your music full time. I'm not, and I'm still not, and I don't intend to be a full-blown famous rock star, but you don't need to be 100% ready. You really just need to be 100% committed. So in this video, I'm gonna talk about my journey and hopefully inspire you to make that leap yourself and decide to go all in on your music. Why did I leave my 9-to-5 job? Well, I guess I did everything that I was supposed to do, and I decided that this still wasn't enough. I went to college, I got my degree, I got an awesome job after I graduated college. Then the economy shifted a little bit and I was laid off and I was screwed. And I said, well, now what am I gonna do? And I ended up going from one job to another job to another job. And every time I would switch jobs, it was basically like wiping the slate and starting over. I did have experience, but the only experience I seemed to have was experience doing something that I hated doing. I always thought that this was a temporary thing until I got to the next thing. Does this sound like you? I knew I loved music. I've always loved music. My mom was a piano teacher, my dad played the organ, my grandfather played the guitar, my grandmother played the piano. There seemed to be music everywhere that I turned, and I wanted to find a way to turn my job into something that I loved, and the only way that I thought that I could do that is by finding some method of turning my music into my job, but I didn't know how to do it. I quit my 9-to-5 job because I wanted to go all in on my music and what I love to do in life, and I'm so much better for it. I feel so much happier every single day, and every day I wake up excited to go to the next gig and go to the next show and share the music that I love and play the guitar and sing and play a little bit of harmonica, bring happiness to people. And if I can give you this little bit of inspiration and encourage you to start doing the work that you love to do, I think the world is going to be a whole lot better place when people do what they love. When you invest your heart, when you invest your soul, and you invest all your energy into doing the work that you love, there's a much higher success rate, and I'm living proof of that. How did I make the leap from going to my job to my music? Well, it wasn't all at once. I basically tested the waters a little bit. I decided, okay, I'm gonna really have a go with this. And I played everywhere that I could. I did open mic nights, I did storytelling circles, I did church events, I did senior homes, I did retirement communities, I did private events. I said yes to basically everything and just started testing the waters, putting myself out there and trying every little thing. I discovered that going to Toastmasters was a very big benefit because I was able to share a little bit of music, share a little bit of story about myself, and get some feedback and start to really build that confidence level as I slowly tweaked my speech, as I slowly tweaked my approach. And someone at that Toastmasters meeting had suggested that I try playing at senior communities. And at first I did not really understand that that might be a venue, but senior communities really have a high demand for music, especially new entertainers. So I decided I reached out to my local senior community. I got my first show, and it really took off from there. It's an amazing experience. I played maybe 20 songs. I sang a little bit, played a little bit of harmonica, told a little bit about myself, and I got a repeat gig from that. I reached out to another senior community on the other side of town, and basically the same thing. I got another gig from that. So I took the leap at first by slowly kind of testing the waters out, feeling what kind of demand there was around me. I said yes to everything. At first, everything was a volunteer basis. This is something that's free. But one of the communities said after, hey, if you come back, we'd be happy to pay you. And I just got really, really excited. I said, okay, that sounds good. And they said at first it was like $50 for an hour performance. And they had me once a month for the next 6 months or so. So before I quit my job, I had gigs on the weekends, I had gigs in the evenings. Some were volunteers, some were paid very little. But I started to build that momentum. I started to build up that demand. And then I really started to think, hey, this is actually kind of possible that I can do this. How do I make money with music? Well, I play at senior communities, I play at private events, I created a CD that I sell, I play at weddings sometimes, and I share music at fundraisers, and sometimes I do volunteer shows or play at my local food markets, things like that around town and pretty much within a 45-minute drive of where I live here in Derry, New Hampshire. So there's several different ways I make money playing music, and it's just so much fun playing live, playing music that I love and performing in front of people, and it brings them so much joy, and you experience that fulfillment right away, and you start to say, hey, I never got this at my job. Why am I, sinking my heart and soul into my job? Why can't I just do my music full time? There needs to be a couple of shifts in mindset, and the biggest shift that I had to make in my mind was, I'm not perfect. I'm not the best. I'm not a rock star. I made that shift from that imperfection to, I'm here to serve. I'm here to bring joy to others, make others smile, make others happy. I'm going to do the best that I can. I'm going to share the love that I have for the music with this audience, and I'm going to make them feel really good. Typically, the people that you play for aren't looking for you to be perfect. Your audience is looking for you to have a sincere care about their benefit. You want to convey a little bit about yourself. Your audience typically wants you to succeed. And when you're playing the songs that you love and you're up there, you're doing it your own way, people can see that. It brings them happiness, and it brings them cheer and joy, and you're really making that moment extra special when you're sharing music that you love. How can you start right now? Maybe you're in a spot where you're doing an occupation. Maybe you're in a spot right now where you hate your job, or you're not getting too much fulfillment from the work that you're doing. I would encourage you to start playing right away. Reach out to your local senior community. Reach out to your local church. Reach out to your local food market. Reach out to local community events and say, would you love some entertainment? Would you love some music for your event? Say yes to every single thing. Start to test out the waters in your neighborhood. Start to see where the biggest demand is, and you may find, like I did, senior communities love music. Wherever you go, you're going to find yourself being able to share music with seniors and making them smile and making them experience more fulfillment. So I encourage you to call your senior communities, call your local churches, start putting yourself out there. I would also encourage you to start recording yourself as you're playing. Rehearse new songs. Consistently build your repertoire of songs, consistently practice, rehearse, become better at your songs and your craft. Start sharing that with the world. And once you put yourself out there, you're going to start experiencing a ton more fulfillment, and your life will be so much happier, and you'll say, hey, this is really possible, and I'm glad that I got started. So I hope this video gave you a little bit of inspiration to start pursuing what your dreams are with your music. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be professional. You just need to have a caring heart. You need to have an instrument. Get out there and start sharing music, and I'll see you in the next video.